Broadcasting live from the backstretch at Saratoga, this is the Handicappers Report. Brought to you by CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier online wagering site in New York State. CapitalOTBBet.com. Sign up today. And the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. Make it to the Clubhouse Racebook.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Handicappers Report alongside Seth Merrow. I am Anthony Mormino on a not perfect for guys in jackets, but a very nice morning out there for the sneakers and shorts crowd that are very much enjoying this glorious start to week, whatever you want to make it, but I guess 4. But for the old guys get off the lawn, this would be opening day.
Yeah, that's right.
This would be opening day, July 30th, etc. And we'd be out of here the week before Labor Day. It's a beautiful day. Traffic is starting to pick up. The weather is much better than Sunday. Sunday, we had the weather, but it was once you got here, the racing was a little tough, especially the backside, the pick six and non-favorites. 2 favorites were over. The favorites winning were over by the third race. It was our
pick six carryover.
Yeah,
$132,000 today.
I'm almost surprised. I didn't look because we were on our way to dinner. That I didn't know that 4 wasn't in the mix. That it would pay out down to 4, but they got the 5. Do you have what the 5 paid? I'm gonna guess it was healthy.
The 5 paid $761.
All right, okay. So, and I'm just going to show Seth this. This always makes for awful television. So this is the list when the meet ends that I'm going to give you. And I'll tell the audience what it is, where I denote. So what happens is on turf racing for me, I always put, there's another column blank, and that's for the rail settings. If there's no rail settings and they're running on the hedge, I use a shade of green to indicate that they're on the hedge. So when they come off the turf, obviously that column is blank. And if it's an MTO, I put the MTO in that list so I know when the MTOs won the race. I think we had the one race, and I thought this was going to happen, my favorite game, who's going to come out. But the race that I think that Mozambique went to his nose, I think the 4 runners were all the MTOs. That's all that stayed in. The main body,
you're right.
The main body was out, and it was the 4 MTOs. And something happened last week, and we have been running here a long time, since the Civil War. I'm not so sure this has ever happened, Seth. 2 times within the week, we had a day where there were 3 losing odds-on horses. Sunday was the second one. And the reason I bring that up is not only because that's obviously a category I keep, but it doesn't really happen that often. We had it happen twice in 1 week. I was busy Monday and Tuesday to look it up, but I just know because it
may be a function also of what I say that now when they get on one, they crush them.
Yeah.
So you just, again, there may be more of those these days than there.
I think you're right. And also field size is getting smaller. So there are outside agents that are leading to it. But at the end of the day, you still, you take you have one race just by and of itself with an odds-on horse. I know that, and I also do put the odds of the horse, whether they're like just 9 to 10 or whatever. But they win a high percentage of individual races, so have 3 of them all lose on a day. And I've said this before. More often than not, Seth, the general public is actually outstanding on rainy days. Now the field size shrink dramatically, but I would bet that the winning percentage of favorites is higher on off-going. And like I said, field size, I think, is everything. Another note that I think is minorly noteworthy, but Del Mar has, where I am cold as ice, thank you, foreigner, thank you, there you go.
It took me a second.
I understand. Remember that commercial that they talked about being on a delay? She says, I love you. He doesn't say anything. She walks out.
On the delay.
You're on the delay. The CAWs and the win pool. And I'm going to say this.
They were going to do something.
I'm going to say this. This is where
week.
I say Twitter or X is great. I don't think in the old days this would have happened, but horse racing Twitter was getting louder and louder and louder every day. There was no coming back.
Yeah, well, I have mixed feelings about, as you know, horse racing Twitter, but
well, you don't think that influence was like?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
no question about
they were not going to be able to escape.
But on the flip side of things, because they made that change yesterday, they announced it out of Del Mar. They're going to take the
3 minutes
out of it. I thought it was 2.
2, okay, but 2 minutes, that's gigantic.
There was a lot of CAW conversation on Twitter, and one person, and I don't think this person is sitting out there alone, made the comment that clearly he or she, I can't remember now, feels like they win all the time. It's like, how do they know? They always know. They always know. And my question is, and to me, it's an important question, how often do they win? And I don't think anything I've ever read has put a number on that. I would be really curious because to me, it's very different. I've said it before. It's very different if they win 30% of the time as compared to 80% of the time. And I just don't have any idea. And with their rebates, they could win modestly 30% of the time and still do okay. So I would be curious. Marshall Graham put out some numbers. Did you see the Marshall Graham list? It was 40-30 of the first 70 races out there. Horses going up in odds after the 1 minute to post. Odds are flashed, and then later, and 30 went down or stayed the same. And so what's that? That's about 58% went up. Well, it's obviously not all cause. It's not CAWs, because even before they were in the game, odds fluctuated one way or the other. So if it's 57%, I would say it's safe to assume lower than 50% were CAWs making those moves. So again, I'd love to know how often they win. I
agree. I think the one optic that I'm waiting for is for a horse to double in price that wins.
Go up?
Yes.
That's never going to happen.
Why not?
Well, again, it's a 1-to-1, them shoveling money in.
Why do they always go down?
Oh, I don't think they always do go down. They don't always go down, but they don't double in price.
But you see horses 18-1 to 6-1. Why doesn't a horse that wins go from 6-1 loading into the gate up to 18-1 that wins?
Because the CAWs, some of them in a year bet $1 billion. So they're shoveling a huge amount of money on one horse.
But doesn't pari-mutuel mean that somebody has to go up if somebody comes down? And
it does.
Why does
but
that
it's
horse
spread
win?
Amongst 8 other horses. So you're getting more
or go up
if they're losing.
Say they're 12, they go up to 16.
That probably happens. Just nobody is looking.
One thing that I will say, and I think Andy Shirley knocked it out of the park the other day, and I have always agreed with this, and I've mentioned this about the Derby, that they just, at the Derby, there used to be horses over 70-1. I could bring the charts in. Now there's hardly anybody above like 40-1. They just bet out. They just lower. They spread out the money because they're playing a mathematics game where maybe 1 to 4% they win, as you said, plus the rebate, they're home. I could show you old charts that this would never happen today. There'd be like a 8-horse field. There'd be 2 horses above 80-1. And I think their algorithms say no horse in any race should ever be 80-1.
See, I don't know about that. I just don't know enough about how they operate.
Look at the last 50 years, the charts of the Kentucky Derby.
But the Kentucky Derby had a series of crazy priced horses win that I think made the general public think, hey, we can play anything.
And well, also, how often do you see a horse on the board in a regular race at 60-1?
I mean, it still happens.
Not nearly. They just spread it out, and they're like, this horse has chance to win. And I've said this before, like that.
So wait, are you saying they're playing any horse in the race that they
have?
See, I don't know that.
This makes sense to me.
I'm curious about that as well.
Like if I had enough of a bankroll and I thought a horse is, should be like say 25-1, and they're 50, well, I have to bet them. I have to bet every horse where there's what I call value or their overlays, every one, because you could probably guess by my selection as a public handicapper, price is everything to me. I don't care. Secretariat can be the wrong price. There's the wrong price is, I've said this to my sisters, it's like, this was, I don't care. It's not the right price. And I say, to me, I have found, as you said, they pound favorites. So if you like favorites, you're rarely, I don't want to say never, you're rarely getting the right price. My types of horses, as I said, the public handicapper who picks more horses that runs last than anybody else. But most times, my price is appetizing to me. Or I walk away and they're just like, well, that's, because that, price is everything. And I think they have, with their algorithms, the handicapping part, they're like, this horse should be 13.4 to 1. And if he's 18 to 1, they find out a dollar amount to bring him down to that level, and they're in. Because I think all they care about is price because they're getting the rebate.
That's another question I had. Are they doing what you're suggesting there? I don't know.
I think that's all they're doing. My thing is, and I don't.
They're looking for value. They're looking for
that's
an efficiency.
All they care about.
My question, though, is what you're saying is they'll play multiple horses in a race, searching for that, and then and I don't know that. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I don't know.
I will say that I can't do it. Nobody can do it fast on the computers, but it's always like, like I used to do this. I know you love exactas. Is that fair to say? So I used to love exactas before I got a little bit bigger bankroll, and trifectas were offered every race. So I would have like 3 or 4 combinations, and I would see what the will pays would be, and then I would do the math to see how many dollars I needed to invest in each combination to make, say, $200 if I'm right. I believe in a caveman idea, that's what they're doing. They're like, all these combinations, I'm trying to get to this part, and I need to bet $87 on this one. I need to bet $93 on this one. I need to bet $116 on this one to get the outcome that I want. And if I was getting a rebate, that's what I would do.
Yeah, no,
because, and somebody told me this years ago, that they'll bet like $5,000 box exactas with the 2 favorites. Obviously, it has a high plausibility of winning. But as you said, I'm getting $1,000 back.
No, I was doing in my head the math of, are they 30, 37?
Now, here's the question.
So let me do it. Let me do just a basic, keep it simple math. They bet $10. Somebody bets $10 on 10 races. You lose 7 of them. You win 3 of them. And just to keep the math simple, at a modest $6.20. You've bet 100. You've gotten back 93. You've lost 7%. You're getting a 10% rebate. If you're betting $1 billion a year, and you're making that kind of a situation every day during the year, you made $30 million.
I have said this from day one. They are only here because it's a money game. When the retailers leave enough, they're going. And now I'm going to be interested to see what the win pools do at Del Mar. Because I've said to you, if you really believe this is a bad business model, just shut them out. See what happens. Because if at the end you can't exist without them, then the general public has to know that, and we go forward. But, and I never hear any discussions about kicking them out of the trifecta or the exactas. This seems to be.
Well, there are wagers at tracks around the country. I mean, is the middle pick 5 here?
Late pick 5.
Late
They're
pick
out.
5. So that they have made some moves like that, certainly. And they shut them out early here in the win pool, too.
So let's say there's 100 different bets that we can make here today, and they're out of, say, 10 of them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know one thing. I'd like to be with them.
Yeah, and again, I have questions on what kind of software they're using to come up with hey, this should be 13.4, because essentially that's handicapping software. My contention has been with AI and whatnot. The game may be overwhelmed by computers that can predict.
Here's the question. Here's the reverse engineering. Are any of them doing poorly?
Well, didn't one of the articles I read recently said one of them has one of the groups did disappear?
What did they take with them? 57 million. All right. What's the business of the day?
Let me. It's probably better if I go to the computer because we are overlapping with August. I don't have a printed August yet. So today, prize wheel. Let me alert you. The syndicate. There's a syndicate special coming up on Sunday, and entries are still open. Jump in. There's a few slots left, and we'd like to fill up those slots. So jump in on the syndicate special. Comes up on Sunday. Syndicate special. You put in $25. 20 people total put in 25. That's 500. Capital OTB puts in another 250. You get sent the PPs and you get to handicap the races and send in your selections. Then a consensus pick 5 ticket is put together for Sunday. Now, that means you get in a kind of a whale-sized ticket for a modest amount of money, $25. Syndicate special is a lot of fun. So again, entries are still open. Go to capitalotb.com, click on the promotions link, look for that graphic and click on that and fill out the entry form to be on next Sunday's, this coming Sunday's syndicate team. Today, Clubhouse Racebook prize wheel. Go down to the Racebook and have a little extra fun as folks will be randomly selected to spin the prize wheel. Tomorrow, Thursday, Clubhouse Racebook $100 play the board contest. Have a little extra fun tomorrow at the Clubhouse Racebook, and the same thing on Friday with a win-a-bet contest. So all of that happening Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue in Albany. Same spot that on Saturday. It is King of the Hill. That's also down at the Clubhouse Racebook. That comes up on Saturday. Bounty Bet is Saturday as well. Late pick 5 up here at Saratoga. Play with your Capital OTB bet account. And Sunday at the Clubhouse Racebook, it is a knockout challenge. And let me remind you, coming up top of the hour, we will be joined by our friend Tom Amello. As usual, we'll have some horses to watch, some betting strategy thoughts as well today. A little bit later on, Sean Clancy from the Saratoga Special will join us. We'll talk a little review and preview, take a look at the jump race today. And then we'll also be joined by our friends Marianne Barker and Maddie Zanetti from Impressions and Dark Horse downtown in Saratoga, sponsors of the Dark Horse Play of the Day. And they'll update you on hours and merchandise coming up down on Broadway in Saratoga.
And maybe if they made the right connections, they could get that tie in their shop. Thank you very much
since we mentioned it the other day, I pulled it out. And, man, this is a tie of substance. I said at the time. Yeah, it's so thank you for the time.
It was not on the clearance rack. That's all I'll say.
I was putting
Here's a high quality.
I was thinking, this was an upgrade from the normal.
Not because it sounds like I'm just. Were you close to the pick 3? Because I think if you had won, you would have told me already. I mean, it was a rough day. I mean, I came up.
Yeah, it was. I had to really search around and find, and it was another day where I think I zigged when I should have zagged in one of the races, and just I didn't have anything the other day, and so apologies to the team. But I searched to begin with to find a couple of sequences that made sense, and then one I left out. It was just as I say, one of them I probably could have.
Like I said, you had the one race where, and I don't know how often this happens, that the only combatants were all the MTOs. Usually somebody stays in.
But I didn't want to spread.
Well, and they made Mozambique
all 4 horses, so I went too deep, and I should have used the horse that won.
That was the winner was Oath of Omerta. I don't know how Frank was, but that was the race where Mozambique, they're off, you lose.
Yeah.
A couple other things before we get to that syndicate bankroll thing. I want to just get an idea here. For the racetrack and for us, there is a panacea, which is field size. I believe that. For the bettor, it's not quite a panacea because you can be a knucklehead like I'm doing at Del Mar presently. But bankroll is pretty close to a panacea if you're an even-keeled, non-impulsive bettor. Your bankroll really is important. And Seth made the great point. You're going to be on a whale ticket, which you guessing probably don't always get to do. And the whale ticket, and my idea always was that the whale ticket is for an individual player, it's the low winning combos that like you get your money back kinda. That's the lifesaver, literally, that keeps you going. And your bankroll, and that I've said this before, I don't have the bankroll to do the superfectas, and I know it's out there if I could get there where it just is a multiplier from the trifectas, but I just can't get there. This child of ours could have got a full scholarship, and maybe I would have, he got enough, so I'm not complaining, but you did great. I think it's time for the.
Oh, wait, I have one note. You mentioned bringing up a note. I got a tweet after it might have been during last Sunday's show. Affirmed not the last Derby. Jim
that
Dandy
won the Jim
win.
Dandy? Who'd he say?
Give you a year?
Well, you give me the year.
I was going to say that would be too much of a hint. 2007.
Well, that's Street Sense.
Jim Dandy and Derby.
There he is. Good job. A bad job on me. Street Sense. That was a great Jim Dandy too. Street Sense was good.
Yeah.
I wish he'd run at 4, but he was good. He had he broke the streak of the juvenile winner, who I love that day. He was a huge. I think it was like $26. But Street Sense. That's right. Good job. So that makes him the 3rd Jim Dandy winner to win. That won the Derby, I think, maybe ever, because the Jim Dandy's not as old as a lot of the other stakes races up here. But time for the DePaul Steve Bick play of the day.
I think it is.
All right then.
And they're off. Chevrolet, Mazda, and Ford right now at the DePaula Auto Group. Take off the savings you need on the vehicle that you want. New cars, trucks, SUVs, hybrids, and all electric. Delivered with DePaula savings. And the DePaula Auto Group has hundreds of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Remember, DePaula can service any make and model and has over 100 service bays. So buy DePaula. Think DePaula for all of your automotive needs. DePaula Auto Group. Chevrolet, Mazda, Ford, and pre-owned. DePaula.com.
Hey everybody, Steve Beck back with you for the DePaula Play of the Day, capital OTB. And we're going to start the week with a nice price, 12-1 on the 4, Fleeting Free in the 5th race. This is that maiden $100,000 3/4 on the dirt group. And Mel Giddings, who's off to a terrific start, 3 wins, 2 seconds from 10 starters. This is a gelded volatile and is putting on blinkers on top of everything else, coming off a little freshening and working like a crazy horse. Sean Bridgman, who, if you don't know, is dating Mel Giddings. Sean gets the A mounts for the barn, and they won for Hayward Pressman the other day as well. Fleeting Free, I think, is going to be a lot sharper, and I think this is the spot. 12-1 morning line, probably won't get the 12-1, maybe 7-1, 8-1, 6-1. It's good enough. It's the DePaula Play of the Day. Good luck. Back with you tomorrow.
And they're off. Chevrolet, Mazda, and Ford right now at the DePaula Auto Group. Take off the savings you need on the vehicle that you want. New cars, trucks, SUVs, hybrids, and all electric. Delivered with DePaula savings. And the DePaula Auto Group has hundreds of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Remember, DePaula can service any make and model and has over 100 service bays. So buy DePaula. Think DePaula for all of your automotive needs. DePaula Auto Group. Chevrolet, Mazda, Ford, and pre-owned. DePaula.com.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live on the backstretch of Saratoga Race Course as we kick off, I think, so week 4? I think week 4. I count the Independence Day, but it's a beautiful day. I do, and I always appreciate learning. I don't not mind being correct at all. And I have to check this. I think Affirm's Jim Dandy was Cawthon's last win here, ever.
I wouldn't.
I mean,
defer to you.
I think you
that.
could win a lot of drinks with that. But I don't think Steve Cawthon ever won enough. He never had good luck up here because he gets injured and Pinkai's got a ride Affirmed. I don't think he came back. I don't think Steve Cawthon ran, I'll say 50, but I really want to say 20 mounts after 1978.
And if we are talking to a new audience who's going, who?
The kid.
Look him up.
The kid.
Cover of Sports Illustrated.
Sportsman of the Year.
Incredible.
Whose silks was he wearing when he did the picture?
I want to say the Affirm silks, the Wolfson silks.
It makes sense, right? Yeah.
Either
that or Viola Sumner. I don't know, but it would make sense to be Affirmed.
But
the thing wasn't he? He was. I think it's Sigmund and Viola Sumner. You know why? Wasn't he Sportsman of the Year for 1977?
Yeah, you may be right.
So I think it's the green and yellow.
Yeah, you may.
Affirmed was the champion 2-year-old, but he wasn't. I think it's.
But he had just an
incredible Steve Cawthon
early portion of the career, and then went over and had a really good career overseas, where he could carry a few more pounds. Career. So it was a really, really unique.
And I know it was a different world, but on the nightly news they were reporting his number of wins at Aqueduct when he had that incredible 2 months. All right, we have 9 today. We kick off with the jumpers.
Again, $132,000 pick 6 carryover. That'll kick off in race 4, but race 1 over the hurdles, 6, 7, 5, and 2. I'm going to put St. John's on top. Jack Fisher, one of the top jump trainers, set this horse up for this race with a flat race at Laurel, where the horse ran fourth. The jump race just prior to that to start the season was very good. So I think the horse is set up well by a clever conditioner. Memento in the second spot. I went back and forth. I debated putting this one on top. The seasonal debut was a good front-end score, but it was a maiden win. So this is a little bit tougher company. You know, there's some salty jump vets in here, but Memento comes in good form, obviously. Hidden Path raced over the flat at Delaware. Similar scenario to the top pick. The jump races just before that are intriguing. Breeze Mission player as well. Holy Moly was intriguing to me, having won a jump race at Laurel. And we say it all the time up here. You like horses that have some experience on a racetrack as compared to those hunt meets. But again, it was a maiden special, has a 5-pound apprentice on board. I looked at Holy Moly closely, but I went 6, 7, 5, and 2.
I will say that I gave this race more time than I usually do because I'm not. But I like Hidden Path. I know you have it for 5, 6, 7. The same thing. Richard Hendricks, he got the race on the flat. He has, this level, the 2L is a reasonable spot. He has that maiden win. I think that was a nice tune-up on the dirt. And let's go. I will say thought I was somewhat clever. Then I saw 3-1. I go, not so clever.
Second race this afternoon, state bred optional claimers. Now, what is it? 2 other than 7 furlongs is the trip.
Boy, I mean, I was not of the, and you're not either. I was not of the school of thought that Stone Smuggler, the one who's 7-5 on the morning line, was King Kong in this race. I mean,
he could be King Kong. The layoff just left me a little bit.
There's going to be more horses win off 200+ day layoffs at this meet than win in under 15 days races. I mean, he gets Lasix today, so have at it, etc. But I'm 4, 3, 5. I don't even have them in the mix, and it's not so much the layoff; it's this angle set. I think there are enough horses in this race that have run numbers that are equal to Stone Smuggler's numbers at the end. So Stone Smuggler has to come back a running machine, which in today's day and age is very practical. That will happen. That Stone Smuggler is going to come back and run like a 75 or 78. But I am of the opinion that just puts him in the mix. So I'm 4, 3, 5 with Embraceable Gal. I love the last race to finish second with Dylan Davis for second. I like True Empress. Like Ferraro Sensen comes in from Finger Lakes off of a good race. And then for third, Army Gal, who I have to tell you, I think could better this rating. I'm throwing out the off-the-turf mile race. I've talked about this with Army Mule Seth. He could be one as a stallion where, boy, the ability to get a mile is, you think 6, 7 furlongs to a mile, but he might be a stallion that's a big chasm.
Yeah.
4, 3, 5.
And that's kind of what I'm hoping. I'm hoping the mile was a little too long last time. It was an off the turfer. The 7 furlong race just prior was good enough. Obviously, it was a good second place finish, but on the numbers matches up nicely here. Jose Ortiz on board for Linda Rice. So I'll put Armigel on top. Stone Smuggler is the class of the field. I went back and forth. And this is the kind that I think can come back with an improved number. I would say it's a good shot.
Okay.
Because this is a lightly raced 2-year-old, and I always say they get a break, they can come back with an improved number.
I have to say,
and you look at the stats on the trainer off a layoff like this, they jump off the page.
In today's day and age, I qualify that as a full 2-year-old season, quite frankly.
Well,
if you're if you're running in Space Company,
it's still lightly raced.
Yeah, what do you run? 5 times?
4 times.
4 times.
Yeah.
You're like, what price do you think he'll be?
7 to 5. I think Armigel will take some action. I could see him ticking down to 6.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know if
6.
I don't know if off the layoff will get. I mean, IRAD is on board. Maybe they will hammer it, but I would say we're in the ballpark with the morning. True Empress, Embraceable Gal in the 3rd spot off a series of very nice efforts. Certainly in the hunt more often than not. True Empress came here to Saratoga off some Finger Lake starts last summer, ran an okay 3rd, and with a number that's going to mix it up with this bunch. So I wouldn't go to sleep if you get the price on that one also. In the 2nd, 5, 1, 4, and 3.
On to the 3rd, maybe.
Wait, are we taking a break?
Oh, yeah, 2, 4, 6.
Only 9 today.
Only 9. It's a pattern that I could sink my teeth into. We'll be right back.
For more than 4 generations, Bruce Cerrone and his family have continued the 103-year tradition of delighting their local following and faithful summer crowd with the finest authentic Italian recipes. Classic Italian dishes made with the freshest ingredients, served in a home-like setting. Some things have changed in the last 103 years, but not Pinnell's commitment to the finest in Italian cuisine. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, just minutes from the track.
The only thing better than watching the races is watching your own racehorse. With nearly 20 years experience in the racing industry, Bonaventure Stables' share-based ownership program enables everyday fans to become part owner of a thoroughbred for far less than you might think, with all the ownership perks at Saratoga, Belmont, Aqueduct, and other great tracks. Experience the thrill and lifestyle of owning your own thoroughbred racehorse. Learn more at bonaventurestables.com.
Want to get your career in horse racing off to a fast start? Well, the University of Arizona's Racetrack Industry Program is your winning ticket. The Racetrack Industry Program has served as a springboard to some of the industry's most successful individuals, with a proven track record of job placement right out of college. If you want to earn a degree in the exciting horse racing industry, the Racetrack Industry Program can put you in the winner's circle.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Just the game is so worldwide now. I think as you're about introing Racing Across America, maybe the greatest middle distance horse presently running, Field of Gold, is, I think, the Sussex Stakes is expected to go off 3:05 their time, which I think makes it 10:05 our time. Man, that effort in the St. James's Palace certainly makes up for the Newmarket Guineas, which he made up for in the Irish Guineas. So one of the great milers in America, right? Juddmonte. I mean, this is the shot at the Sussex Stakes, which is one of the great mile races of the year. Yes, no, maybe.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I think that's right. I love the fact that it's on a Wednesday. One of the great mile races.
Well, that's Europe for you, though. I mean,
they used to run the Epsom Derby on Wednesday in my adult time. Maiden Claimer's going 6 in the 3rd.
3, 2, 6, and 4 for me. Chocolate on top. This one was 2nd, and Stirred Up was 3rd in the latest race. I give a little more credit to Chocolate. Had a front end kind of score set up, and then just wound up a little short, but that was at 6.5. They go 6 today, so I'm tilting towards the Rapoli runners slightly. And I put Stirred Up down in the 4th spot. Usually, kind of like one, like the other, I'll have them closer. But I thought there was a couple of horses in here that were maybe a little bit interesting. Laughing Lady being one of those. Made special weight to maiden claiming for Tony Dutrow. Now, they move enough down the claiming ladder that I'm scratching my chin a little bit, but they're also going turf to dirt. That may be notable as well. And so I'm going to put that one in the mix also. Sunset Sizzle, 2-1 on the morning line. Curious if we're going to get that, though. This one, to me, they debuted at Delaware back in May in Maiden Special Company and ran a very close-up fifth with a number that's going to mix it up with this group. Now they come up to Saratoga. It's Starlight and Star Ladies. Maybe they want to win up here. But you go off a pretty good Maiden Special down to the 20 tag after you paid $225,000 for the 2-1 on the morning line. Is that the morning? That is the morning line favorite. I have way too many questions to use that one on top. 3, 2, 6, and 4.
Got that Delaware angle.
that is. You're right. But that's the Delaware angle was New York trainers going down to Delaware. Yeah, and then this is not a New York trainer.
4-3-1 for me. There's 7 horses in this race. I think there's 1 true outsider, so there's 6 contenders for me. Seth and I have 5 of them, and I think that represents the race well. I just thought third up, we're getting the addition of blinkers this time. Linda Rice, I think I'm going to get the better price than Chocolate, so I have stirred up on top. Chocolate, top pick. I think this is a horse that, maybe my top 2 picks injure each other's chances to win. And then Contract Law, who maybe people think there's 2 outsiders in this race. This outsider I have as an insider, 4-3-1.
4th race today. I've written at the top of the page. This is a nice group. Optional claimers, $100,000 tags, and there are some in here for the tag. A C condition, 1 mile 3/8 on the grass.
And, we'll see what the turf comes up to. It was, I think, listed as yielding for the Glens Falls. And if you watch the race, particularly after the third turn and they're coming in, you can see the grass moving in a way that indicates so. Did you have any rain Monday, Tuesday up in this area? Not that you in this area have anything to do with each other, it seems. So we'll see what they list. I got to think good. Maybe it's firm. I'm 7-6-2. Masterpiece to me. Now, this horse was very sharp in one of the better long-distance races that was 3 turns, which is the Del Mar Handicap, which is a grade 2, which is their summer meets premier marathon. Now, this will be the 3rd start of the year, which I like very much. So I have Masterpiece on top with IRAD. 4-second Corruption right next door. The central problem I have with Corruption is, I said this earlier in the show, this race on balance to me is too competitive for a 7-5 shot. And then I have the 2 for third, first off the claim. But Hush of a Storm, Seth has him in his mix. Summer Cause, I mean, it's a terrific race. And if you want Corruption on top, which Seth does, but Seth looks at it differently from me, 7-6-2.
Yeah, I just thought consistently you putting up numbers that have an edge on this bunch. I went back and forth between Corruption and Hush of a Storm. But again, on the consistency of the numbers, the Mark Cassidy trainee got a little bit of an edge. Hush of a Storm, I think, is right in the mix for Brad Cox. Flavian Pratt on board, comes in off a near miss in a state-bred stake right up here on Belmont Stakes weekend. I think that bodes well for the race today. And Masterpiece, a bona fide stakes quality runner. First couple of starts of the year, though, maybe leading to an improved 3rd start of the season. But I'm not totally convinced yet. Certainly there are back numbers that if we get to, and in the 3rd start we can, if they get to them, is going to be very tough in here. And Irad Ortiz is on board. I'm not leaving the horse out of the mix by any means, but for me, 6, 5, 7, and 3.
We'll take a quick break. When we come back, Maiden Claimers in for $100,000. They ran one of those Del Mar 150ers the other day. Yet to find a claim out of it. We'll be right back.
It only takes one upset to make history, and now you can be part of Saratoga's long tradition at the Dark Horse Mercantile. The Dark Horse Mercantile offers a carefully curated selection of clothing, gifts, and home decor, from one-of-a-kind vintage racing memorabilia to select brands like Barber and Under Armour, as well as exclusive Dark Horse branded merchandise. So celebrate the Dark Horse in all of us at the Dark Horse Mercantile, downtown Saratoga, where the smart bet is always the Dark Horse.
A day at the track isn't complete without a night at the Horseshoe. Great food, hot music, and cold drinks. So why go downtown when all the action's just across from the track? The Horseshoe Inn at the corner of Nelson and Gridley.
You like free money? Well, Capital OTB gives its players plenty of opportunities to cash in. At Capital OTB, there are so many ways for horse players to receive bonus dollars by simply participating in promotions such as our bankrolls, bounty bets, online handicapping contests, and much, much more. Plus, with Capital OTB's Player Rewards program, you get actual cash back. So what are you waiting for? Log on today at CapitalOTB.com or CapitalOTBBet.com and claim your free money.
Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Whoops. My bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit rtn.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Race number 5, maiden claimers. These are 3-year-olds and up, though, going 6.
Fun race. I almost made this one my Dark Horse play of the day, but I'm a little bit leery that they're in for a tag in the second start of the career. 2, 6, 3, and 7. I thought the 1 was also interesting. It's Chad and Klarovich in a debut effort. So it's a fun race, but I put Noguchi on top. I'm assuming second-time starter from Chad Brown, Peter Brandt and company, the debut effort downstate. I thought, okay, 4th, but more importantly, has some nice breeding as far as siblings. Refuel, a sibling, won the first 2 starts of the career. In spite of, second in the debut, won the next 2, then second, then won the 5th start. So 3 wins and a couple seconds in the first 5 starts. Following C, second, then a couple of wins. Gimmick, 7th, 3rd, and then a win. So plenty of win early with the siblings, but they paid $300,000 in the second start. They're putting the horse up for $100,000. This one I'll be interested to see if somebody jumps in and takes it today for the $100K. Irad Ortiz is on board. There's plenty to like, but I am scratching. That's why I didn't make it the Dark Horse play of the day. On the drop, I'm a little bit concerned. Second spot, Fiddling Felix. Nice try last time. Claimed out of that. Claimed for 20. Dropped in for the tag. Showed some life. But claimed for 20. And now moves up to 100. So again, we'll see if how this horse fits with a little stiffer company, but did seem to get a kind of a breakthrough effort last time. And then V Cruiser in the 3rd spot. Sibling called Peace Cruiser that no wins in 7 starts overall, but the first 2 starts were a couple of near miss second place finishes. Another sibling ran 8th at Keeneland in the debut, but then went over to Saudi Arabia and won the next 2 starts. So I thought there was a little bit of interest here. Violence on top, Linda Rice trainee, 10-1 on the morning line. Found that one intriguing as well. And as I say, I didn't use career risk. I'm scared of that one. Discotheque, I think, could be playable in here, but I'm 2, 6, 3, and 7.
Well, everybody's first time tag except the 6. My top pick is White Whale. I have no guesses here. I would like to ask each trainer in this race, right after they close the claiming to be claimed box, do you think you're getting picked off? I mean, that's a deep reach, 100,000. Yeah. You remember the horse Hightail?
I remember the name.
This horse, in my opinion, literally killed a Breeders' Cup race all by himself. The coach had him. He was 0 for 8. He won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Sprint, which I thought when it came up was going to have 14 horses in it every year. He won it as a maiden, killed the race. Race went away. I thought it was going to be, like I said, 14 every year. Run for $1 million or something. So, but White Whale, you have to. I went through, and if you highlight the dirt fast races, they're in the 70s. I fit for second. The Gucci first time in for Acclaim, and Authentic that they're quitting on. Then V Cruiser, Linda Rice of Violence. It's just, I have to tell you, Seth, I have to believe these connections don't think they're getting claimed. I mean, I've said this before. I love a 70 on debut. Now that's on the turf, and I'm a little hesitant on dirt. But how about the Into Mischief career risk? Yeah, whatever. We'll quit on an Into Mischief. But 5-2-3 for me.
6th race this afternoon. Another fun race in here. Maiden Specials going 5.5 on the grass.
Plenty of horses in here. 5-2-8 and going to Actus is how I'm going to call it for the debut. For the grandsires, you have Danzig and Mr. Greeley. I'm all set with that. The hard spuns, I've said this before, 5.5 on the turf. Tom Amos, let's go. For second, Mackinac. I'm wondering if that is pronounced Mackinac, like the island up in Michigan. I don't know. I think that's how I pronounce it. But Rusty Arnold, it's the old 4 workouts back tipped off. And then for third, Lima, Tom Proctor, Glen Hill Farm, 5-2-8.
I went 4, 1, 11, and 2. I thought the 3 was also interesting, but the 4 is my dark horse play of the day. And again, Marianne Barker and Maddie Zanetti from Impressions and Dark Horse will be in a little bit later on, but we appreciate their sponsorship. Stop by down on Broadway, and you will enjoy your visit, both Dark Horse and Impressions. We appreciate their sponsorship of the play of the day, and the play of the day today is number 4, Snow Face Princess. Debut effort. Wasn't much, but A, it was on the dirt, and B, it was a muddy track. It was okay foundation to build on. The number is not much, though. But midshipmen, okay with first-time starters, 23 of them so far this year, and 6 of those have hit the exacta with 3 in the third. So I thought there was some good numbers there. Not stellar, but good numbers for midshipmen with first-time starters. There was a sibling called Struts Her Stuff that won the first 2 starts of the career. The debut was a win on the turf. This one took money in the debut. 3-2 favorite for Todd Pletcher. That certainly attracted my attention. Blinkers on today. I'm going to look for this one to maybe live up to the action this one took in debut. Again, with a little bit of breeding, Todd Pletcher, Irod Ortiz, 6-1 on the morning line. We'll take our swing here. Dark horse play of the day today. Race number 6 at Saratoga. Horse number 4, Snowface Princess. Second slot, I have number 1, Santina. Wesley Ward, 2-year-old turf sprinter. Always have to attract some attention there. But I parsed the numbers out. He does very well with 2-year-old turf sprinters. But over at Saratoga over the past few years with first-time starting 2-year-old turf sprinters, maybe not as much, but I couldn't ignore the Wesley Ward factor. And in the third spot, I'm going out to the AE list. We just have to have one scratch to get Keto Drink in here. Shug Trainee that was okay in the debut and does have some win early siblings. In the 6th, 4-1, 11 and 2.
Don't take the slate down yet, if that's possible. We have 6 covered.
No,
we have 6 covered. That's I say it. I've always said this. All I really want is competitive racing. People talk about classification and what we used to do here. I do like field size because that helps the betting angle. But competitive racing, if it's a 6-7 horse field, I'm good to go. I mean, I understand full crop size, so I think we have that. And I love when Seth and I have, even if it's a 10 horse field, we have 6 covered. I'll take our final break. When we come back, the last pick 3.
Want to get your career in horse racing off to a fast start? Well, the University of Arizona's Racetrack Industry Program is your winning ticket. The Racetrack Industry Program has served as a springboard to some of the industry's most successful individuals, with a proven track record of job placement right out of college. If you want to earn a degree in the exciting horse racing industry, the Racetrack Industry Program can put you in the winner's circle.
For more than 4 generations, Bruce Cerrone and his family have continued the 103-year tradition of delighting their local following and faithful summer crowd with the finest authentic Italian recipes. Classic Italian dishes made with the freshest ingredients, served in a home-like setting. Some things have changed in the last 103 years, but not Pinnell's commitment to the finest in Italian cuisine. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, just minutes from the track.
Sometimes it pays to go with the flow, to check your worries at the door, to reconnect with your crew, to follow the thrills and the flavor, to roll with it and see where it takes you, to enjoy every minute to its fullest, and to dance like there's no tomorrow. You can do that here at Rivers Casino and Resort Schenectady, where the good times flow.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Race number 7, 11 furlongs on the inner.
Plenty of activity behind us this morning, and vocal activity.
Yes.
I have it 7, 1, 5, and 8. War Officer on top, class dipper for Todd Pletcher, and I think the class drop is going to be notable in here. It's a dip off the last effort, but Two-Back was at this level and ran a better finishing position, but I think that they showed some, a little bit of oomph and moved up slightly last time and still ran well, and now they come back down to the level of Two-Back. I think bodes well for this one to be a player this afternoon. They're also in for the tag today, but again, the condition is essentially the same. Second spot, Brigade Commander. This one, similar scenario in that ran at this level, 3 back, not for the tag. Then they bumped up slightly last couple and still ran well. So similar scenario to the top pick. And in the third slot, the Paddock Pastor. I'm going to look for this one to rebound, getting back to the turf. The last time in an off the turfer did not offer up a whole lot. I think getting back to the grass puts this one firmly in the thick of things. 7, 1, 5, and 8.
And I think there are 6 in the headline group here. I'm 6, 7, 5. I'm surprised that we have 2 common interests in here, just in a little bit different order. And I think the 6 for Miguel Clement, who's having a great meet. They've already hooked up owner and trainer. It's the 3rd start of the year for the 6 with IRAD. 1 coming, off the layoff. Then you step up in company. You're the favorite, which I don't like. And then, a little regression. And now I'm expecting to move forward. War Officer, very competitive at this level. He's very reliable. And I think you kind of know the run you're going to get out of him. And I'm kind of interested to see if the one other time Luis Saez rode him down at Gulfstream seemed to be more forwardly placed, which would, I think, fit the jockey profile. And I'm going to be intrigued on War Officer's trip. And then the Paddock Pastor, 6, 7, 5.
Race number 8 this afternoon is the feature stakes race, the Johnstone, $150,000 up for grabs for the Fillies and Mayors going 7. There was an article, maybe Grenig article, said that they have taken a couple of state-bred races, one I think at 6 and one at a mile, and combined them this year into 7 furlongs. There'll be the boys' version of that tomorrow, but this is for the ladies going 7.
Well, I know that because this used to be the Bruce Johnstone Mile. It's like Bruce, a trainer around here who once August 13th, 1988, Alabama Day, he had a winner. And my best friend had the $500 exacta more than one time.
Nice.
More than 2 times. 5, 4, and 8 as the Johnstone shortens up to 7/8. My main squeeze, who, 7 of 8 hitting the board, going 7/8, comes out of the Chicago, which is it used to be a gigantic stop on the national Philly Sprint Tour. It's still a big race. Comes back with New York Reds. I'm looking. It looks like the Matty May, February of 24 was the last time against New York Reds. So hopefully we got some confidence there. Caldwell Loves Gold makes the first start since May 30th for Brad Cox. And then Sterling Silver for Belmont, a very consistent runner, shortening up to 7/8.
I like my main squeeze. A nice New York bred that's been facing open company, but I went with Sterling Silver on top. 8, 5, 2, and 7. Sterling Silver is the defending champion in this race, albeit last year at a mile, but comes in off a nice try last time in the Critical Eye right here at Saratoga, again on Belmont Stakes weekend. So comes in good form. Belmont trainee pretty consistently putting up solid numbers relative to this group. So I'll tilt slightly in that direction. My main squeeze, again, nice New York bred for Mike Maker. And again, ran 5th in that Chicago, but that was a nice race. Vava rebounded nicely there. Zeitlos, who came back to run very well in a follow-up. So my main squeeze is Dangerous as well, obviously, and Dolomite in the 3rd spot. A couple of stakes tries further down the page, and they were okay. Most recently, though, has been in Optional Claiming Allowance Company and doing well. So comes in, I think, in good form, and I think this is a nice spot to return to a stakes race in the 8th. 8, 5, 2, and 7.
And wrapping it up at estimated 548. State Breds going 5.5 on the turf.
8, 2, the 1 entry, and 4. Good Mission on top. Got back to the turf last time. Seemed to appreciate that. A couple of turf starts a little further down the page. But again, getting back to the turf last time seems to signal we'll appreciate being on the grass again today. Kyla's Cause in the 2nd spot, maiden special weight to maiden claiming for the seasonal debut for Tom Morley. That to me was a little bit of a concern, but I'm hoping it bodes well. And then Gatatiz for Jim Bond, dropped in for the tag last time. Didn't show much there, but it was the seasonal debut. I'll look for that one to benefit from, for this one to benefit from that effort in the 9th and final. 8, 2, 1, and 4.
I didn't have a big feel in this race, and I landed handicap-wise that I'm discarding Miss Uproar's last race, and that we bounced back to the 2 races ago. I'm in the hunt. For a second, I have Fifi Lafume for Rudy Rodriguez. I get off of the rail, broke from the rail in a big field in the last time. If you have blazing gate speed, that can be beneficial. And then the 2, first time Lasix, first start of the year, first time in for a tag, 7, 5, 2.
Very good. And again, we will remind you that Syndicate Special is open for this coming Sunday. There were some spots left. We'll get on the team. $25 entry fee. That's $500. Capital OTB puts in $250, so you get some free money in for a nice whale-sized ticket for a reasonable amount of money. You get to make picks in all the races, and then a consensus ticket is put together for Sunday's Pick 5. Go to capitalotb.com, click on the promotions link, look for that graphic, click on that, entry form will come up. Hop on the Syndicate Special coming up on Sunday, but entries are open now.
All right. That wraps up our look at Wednesday's 9-race card. It's a delightful morning out here. He stays, I go. Have a great afternoon at the races.
This has been the Handicappers Report, brought to you by CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier online wagering site in New York State. CapitalOTBBet.com. Sign up today. And the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. Make it to the Clubhouse Racebook.